Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Fun English Daily. I'm Ariel, and today I will tell you a simple and true story about how ChatGPT helped me learn a new language. Maybe you feel stuck, maybe you feel shy, maybe you want to speak, but your mouth does not move. I was like that too. I wanted to speak English, but I always forgot the words. I could not remember grammar rules. I did not know what to say. I was scared to talk to people. I thought I would make mistakes. I thought people would laugh at me. I waited for the right day. I waited for the right moment. But that day never came. Then one day I heard something new. I heard about ChatGPT. My friend said, "Try this AI. It can talk to you. It can teach you. It can help you learn English at home." Anytime I said, "Really? Can a robot teach me?" My friend smiled. He said, "It's not a robot. It's like a smart friend who knows everything. Just try it one time." So I tried it. I opened ChatGPT and I said hello. I want to learn English. ChatGPT said, "Great, I'm happy to help. Let's begin." That small moment changed everything. First, ChatGPT asked me a few questions. It asked about my English level. I answered slowly. I used simple words. ChatGPT listened. It did not laugh. It did not stop me. It said, "I think you are a beginner, but you are brave. Let's grow step by step." I smiled. For the first time, I felt safe. I felt seen. Then ChatGPT said, "Let's learn 5 new words today." It gave me words, meanings, how to say them, and how to use them in a sentence. Then it said, "Now I will quiz you." I answered. Sometimes I was right. Sometimes I was wrong. But ChatGPT always said, "Good try. Let's try again." It made me feel okay. It made me want to try more. I started learning new words every day. 5 words, then 10, then more. I used those words in small sentences. I said, "Please check my sentence." ChatGPT helped me fix my mistakes. Slowly, I learned how to write better. Then I said, "Can we speak?" ChatGPT said, "Of course. Let's have a small talk." We talked about food. We talked about travel. We talked about dreams. I made many mistakes, but I did not feel bad. ChatGPT said, "Let me help you say that in a better way." I copied the better sentence. I said it again. My mouth started to move. My voice became stronger. I felt happy. I felt free. I wanted to speak more. Next, I said, "I don't understand grammar. Can you explain it?" ChatGPT said, "Yes. Let's start with simple grammar. Present tense." It gave me examples. It asked me questions. It gave me a small quiz. It said, "Good work. You are learning fast." Every day I learned a little. I learned grammar without pain. I did not use big books. I used ChatGPT. It was simple. It was clear. Then I said, "I want to write more." ChatGPT said, "Great. Write 1 paragraph." I will check it. I wrote about my family. I wrote about my city. I wrote about my job. ChatGPT corrected my writing. It told me why something was wrong. I read the changes. I learned the reason. Then I tried again. My writing became better. I started to like writing. I was not scared anymore. Then I said I want to listen more. ChatGPT said, I will give you a story. Read it. Here are new words. Here are some questions. Answer them. I did that. I read slowly. I learn the words. I answer the questions. I check my answers. I smiled. I said, I understand the story. I felt proud. Then ChatGPT said, let's play with sentences. It gave me a sentence. She goes to school. Then it said, change this to past tense. I said she went to school, then future tense, then passive voice. It was like a game. It was fun. It made grammar easy. I started to play this game every day. Then I said I want to speak better. How do I say this word? ChatGPT gave me the sound. It gave me the phonetic way. It told me the mistake many learners make. It told me how to fix it. It gave me tongue twisters. I said them many times. My mouth felt tired, but I laughed. I liked it. I said, give me a 30-minute routine. ChatGPT gave me this. 5 minutes for new words, 5 minutes reading, 5 minutes grammar, 10 minutes speaking, 5 minutes writing. I did this every day. It was easy. It was short, but it worked. I became better. I said, let's do role play. ChatGPT said, okay, you are a tourist. I am the hotel staff. Let's begin. I asked questions. I answered. It felt real. I liked it. We did role plays at the doctor's office, at the airport, in a shop, at school. I felt ready for real life. Then I said, give me a daily challenge. ChatGPT gave me a word. It said, use this word in the story. Next day, it checked my story. It gave me tips. It made me stronger. Then I said, can you track my progress? ChatGPT said, yes. I will check your words, your grammar, and your speaking. I will tell you what you do well. I will tell you what to fix. Every week I saw my growth. I felt joy. I felt proud. I kept going. I said, help me get ready for a job interview. ChatGPT asked me real questions. It corrected my answers. It taught me strong words. You're coming across a totally new word. Write that down too. So write down both new phrases and already known advanced words. That's what you have to note. But this is something you're going to do in the second listening. You have to give 2 rounds of listening. Maybe you're doing some kind of other work. You're working out, okay. You're at a gym and you're listening to English songs. That means you're doing passive listening at the time. You're engaged in some kind of activity, okay? It can be a physical activity. It can be anything. It can be a work that you're doing. With that particular thing, you're also listening to the song. You're listening to an English song, and this is passive form of listening. So you're not compromising on your time. Rather, you're utilizing the time to feed some English content to your subconscious mind. Now, you might not actually realize a lot of words during this particular process because you're doing passive listening. But what you're doing is you're feeding content to your subconscious mind, which is important. Passive listening is also important because this makes you comfortable in listening to English. You must become comfortable with a language. That's very important. And passive listening allows you to become comfortable with a language, especially listening to a particular language, because listening is important. Until and unless you don't understand whatever you're listening, how you're going to respond, For example, you're in a conversation. If not able to understand what the speaker is saying, how would you respond? Listening is important. We cannot neglect listening in English because listening is a skill and listening is also a form of intaking good content in English. So passive listening is something that I would recommend. Listen to a song. Listen to a podcast while you're driving, while you are working out, while you are in a metro, maybe while you're doing some other task where you can take the liberty to listen to some good English. Do it while watching movie for a fun Sunday, weekend maybe, right? So that is what you're supposed to do. Watching movie not for English learning, but watching an English movie to spend time with friends and family. So in that manner, you're doing passive listening. You're also having a great time, a great weekend, and you're also listening to English content. Two things are going side by side, right? It's like killing two birds with one stone. That's what we're doing. So do this particular thing. This is your passive listening. Now, the task number 2 in week 2 is your speaking practice. You have to dedicate 5 minutes. 5 minutes every day for the next 7 days to your speaking. Speaking practice, that's very important. Speaking practice is extremely important. You know why? Because you have done a lot of active listening in the week number 1, and you've done a lot of vocabulary hunting. That means you know a lot of words there, right? You have made a list of words. You have interacted with a lot of language. Now you know how to speak it. You've interacted with sounds, the pronunciation, everything. So you can do the speaking practice. What you're supposed to do is take out 5 minutes every day. Every day in the evening, you can do that and describe your whole day. Very simple task. You do not have to go here and there on what to speak, how to speak. Although if you want to challenge up your speaking practice, you can take one of my speaking practice techniques. So this is the video with 12 different speaking practice techniques. If you really want, challenge yourself. You can do this. You can take up one of the techniques. You can take one different technique every day and practice your English speaking skills. That is going to give you an immense improvement, and this is going to help you a lot. So you can do that. Otherwise, if you're looking for something easy, if you're looking for something flexible, then simply take out 5 minutes and describe your whole day in English. That is what you're supposed to do as a part of your speaking practice. Describe your complete day, your daily routine, your day narration. Do that. Whatever happened throughout the day, narrate it. Speak it out loud. Do your speaking practice. And this is going to help you improve your speaking skills. Week number 3 is the last week. The last 7 days of this particular challenge. The 21 days ride divided into 3 parts. Now this is the last set of 7 days. Week number 3, and the task 1 for week 3 is active vocabulary. Remember vocabulary, not listening vocabulary, active vocabulary. We are done with active listening in the week number 1. And if you remember, we did vocabulary hunting at that particular time, noting down all the words, but we just noted them down. Have we done anything about it? No, not yet. So this is the time. You have to take up all the words that were known, and the words that were new, unknown to you. The new words take up the list. You must have around 15, 20, 25, 30 words depending on how many words you came across. How much can you take up from that particular audio? I would suggest coming across in totality 5 words every day would be very beneficial. You'll have around 35 words, right? So this is extremely beneficial. If you have around 3,035 words combined, known and unknown combined, I'm talking about, so that's fine. Okay, combined. If you have 35 words, excellent, excellent. You've done a great job during your vocabulary hunting phase. So now that's over. Week number 3 is active vocabulary. Whatever vocabulary you're learning, you need to make it active. I've talked about active vocabulary a lot. What is active vocabulary? How to make it active? I have talked about this a lot on this channel. You already know it. We have so many lessons on active vocabulary. I'm going to tell you a task in this particular challenge which would help you turn all these words into your active vocabulary. So all the words would get converted into your active vocabulary. What is active vocabulary? Something that you can use easily, readily whenever you want to speak English. You'll be able to use it. You'll be able to use English. And this is something that is going to give you confidence to speak. Because if you have confidence in using a particular word, you can use it. You can speak it. If you really don't know how to use a word, how are you going to speak it? How are you going to use it in a particular sentence? And this is going to be difficult, really, right? So that is what active vocabulary is supposed to be. Word that you can use easily, that are usable for you. For example, the word lazy is very easy to use. A lot of people might use it easily in a sentence. But the word lethargic is a synonym, yet it's very difficult. A lot of people might be uncomfortable using it. They know the meaning. You know the meaning lethargic, right? But using it in a sentence is a challenge because this is not in your active vocabulary. That is the difference. So you need to convert all the 35 words, 30 to 35, however many words you have come across. You have to convert them into your active vocabulary. That is something you're supposed to do. For that, what you're supposed to do is you have to write the meaning and 2 example sentences for all the unknown words. All the unknown words, the new words. For all the new words that you come across, check in the Cambridge Dictionary, right? And from there, understand the meaning. Write it down. Also, write 2 example sentences of your own related to that particular word. Now, the known words that you already know, the known words, what to do about them. You have to also check the meaning. Do not write the meaning if you don't want to, because I'm sure that you've heard them before. You know a little bit of the meaning. It's just a revision for you right now. Revision, right? So in revision phase, what you're supposed to do is check out the meaning and write example sentences for them. So for the new words, what you're supposed to do is you have to write the meaning in 2 example sentences. Write the meaning and 2 example sentences that you're supposed to write. And for all the known words, just 2 example sentences. That is what you're supposed to do. Write 2 example sentences. This whole process would take you 10 minutes. 15 to 20 minutes. Around 15 to 20 minutes. I'm saying this because all the 35 and 30 words are supposed to be broken down into 7 days. You're not supposed to do all the tasks related to all the words on day number 1. So if you were trying to cram up the words on day number 135 words together, this is not going to work. Rather, if you take up 5 words every day on average, 5 words on day number 1, 5 words on day number 2, 5 words on day number 3, if you take it up in this manner, it'll be really easy for you to just dedicate 20 minutes and improve your vocabulary. Convert everything into your active vocabulary. Isn't that amazing? Now, the task number 2 for week 3 is speaking practice. Once again, speaking practice. Because why are we doing everything? Because we want to improve our speaking skills in English. That is why we are learning English. That is why we are doing all the tasks. That is why we are taking up the challenge to improve speaking. So task number 2 is going to be your speaking practice. Now, in this speaking practice, what you're supposed to do in this particular week, in this speaking practice, you're supposed to take up a topic and speak on that particular topic. Speak on a topic. So 7 days, 7 topics. Your 7 days, 7 topics are going to be really easy to find from where to find all the topics. How to do it. I have videos where I'm suggesting you topics and also how to create content in that particular topic to speak in English. So I have created topics for you. I have created videos with a lot of topics, interesting topics to speak English on, so that you can get a good dose of English speaking practice. I'm telling you all the points on which you can create content. For example, if I'm talking about your favorite cuisine, so from which region it belongs, what are the components? Why do you like it? When did you first come across it? And what's the best dish in that particular cuisine? These are the guidelines I'm telling you about in these videos. Through these guidelines, you can create so much content to speak on and practice English speaking. So 7 days, 7 topics. You have to practice your English speaking skills. So this was a complete 3-week challenge. Complete 3-week English fluency challenge to improve your English speaking skills and develop your speaking fluency, which is very important. If you do all the tasks for 3 weeks, you're going to get so much better at English speaking. Believe me, you're going to see a huge improvement. So what are you waiting for? Start with this 3-week English challenge today. That is it. That is it for today. Do not forget to check out the other challenges that I've launched for you. Do check them out. The 6-week challenge, the 24 days challenge, 30 days challenge, 90 days challenge. Go check them out too. And yes, start with them if you haven't after you finish this 3-week challenge after that. So that's it for today. That is it. Now I'm going to meet you again with a new lesson. Till then, everybody take care and bye.